consciously worked very, very hard on, be it Rani Mastani and all the songs, the picturization. You worked extremely hard, and even the entire Aina Mahal, the way you've designed it, and the somewhere you had Sheesh Mahal as a backdrop in your mind somewhere. Coming to the content of the film, sir. As I was telling you earlier, that dialogue bazi which is happening between Deepika and Ranveer, or Ranveer and Priyanka and Deepika, or even Tanvi Azmi, I think, is playing a very, very key role somewhere. Do you feel that the content had to be strong because that's something which like really holds everything together somewhere?
The screenplay was so good. When Prakash Kapadia wrote it first, I said I want to make Bajirao Mastani. I gave him a few things that I wanted to as references, and then he came back after 3 months or 4 months of writing a screenplay. The content was so strong.
Right.
It stayed alive in my mind for 12 years. If the content was not strong, if the dialogue didn't resonate in my mind, if those moments that were written were not there, etched in my heart as I read over the last 12 years again and again, I would have never made this film.
Absolutely.
I knew that it had the power of the pen and finally the base on which you make the film. Your core, ye visual to hoye, wo to chalo, it's a given. But if the content is not there, so I knew at this point of time the content was very strong. So that could not go wrong. All I had to do was treat it, embellish it, direct it in the way I want to.
Absolutely.
And so I think Prakash Kapadia wrote a great screenplay and wonderful dialogue. There were times when at one point Rani was going to play Kashi.
Ji.
In the initial cast, and we used to, while making Black, because Prakash also co-wrote Black, not fully wrote Black, so we used to run to call him Prakash, we said, बैठो इधर, अच्छा वो 2-3 सीन जरा वापस पढ़ो बाजीराव के, and he would normally have the Bajirao script with him while writing Black also. He used to sit and read Bajirao, those scenes of, and Rani would be crying in one corner, feeling, हाँ ये कब scene shoot होगा, ये कैसा होगा. I realized that the spoken word itself was so powerful, was so beautiful. It was cathartic.
Right.
It was angst being expressed in such beautiful words. अंदर की काशी की जो pain है, anguish है, मस्तानी की जो dilemma है, वो सारी चीजें words में translate की dialogue. और बड़ी फिल्म में मुझे लगता है dialogue लोगों को चाहिए ही चाहिए.
बिल्कुल, absolutely.
I think without dialogue, that representation that comes in the mind, कि अरे वो dialogue, अरे वो dialogue, अरे वो dialogue. So I've heard that they're clapping in dialogues and throwing coins and all that.
Absolutely.
I love it completely.
Absolutely. Sir, you've always maintained that it's based on a book and it's partly fictional and partly based on history. But when you have these things coming on that maybe somewhere you're just trying to tamper with the historical facts somewhere. Now, what sort of response have you been getting from Maharashtrians in general?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely top of the line. I've had messages, and I don't want to name those big people who have seen it, and I cannot, but whose approval mattered a lot to me, and they've gone completely. They think this is such a proud moment for us, because a film on a Maratha warrior and Maratha kingdom at that time, an empire at that time, you make on this scale, because we've seen Mughalism, we've not seen a Maratha warrior at all. So, and they were little worried also कि क्या बनाया होगा, क्या बोला होगा, कैसे किया होगा. But I made this film with a lot of responsibility. We followed the book Rao by Inamdar Saab. Obviously, you need to make changes. You need to adapt a book for a screenplay. You need to have some dramatic movements in the thing, and to come to a certain important point that Inamdar Saab has written, those important scenes. To come to that point, cinematically, I have to be able to make some changes within it. So I have sat down with Prakash Bhai and made those necessary changes, because you need to come to that visually. By the nature of the medium, it's different from a book, it's different from a documentary, it's different from a painting, or it's different from a ballad written by a folk poet on Bajirao and his bravado. So it's just that the medium is different. You need to adapt it for a screenplay, and I'm very, very happy with the way the Maharashtrians are responding. So I'm more a Maharashtrian because I've lived in a chawl with Marathi neighbors.
Bilkul, absolutely.
So I love that culture. I love that music. I'm a great fan of Marathi music. वो होमवर्क करते थे हम लोग, तो बाजू से वो लोग अपने कोई गीत बजाते थे बहुत से, फिर यहाँ से वो मराठी फिल्मों के गाने पिंजरा के और वो सब बजते थे. तो वो मोहल्ला वो था जहाँ पे हर ओकेजन पे कोई बाजू वाला भी शादी हो रहा है तो यहाँ पे they would play a song on a record blaring on, and most of them would be Marathi songs. So I've grown up on that Marathi-ness of it all, and I love Marathi food. I just
Yeah.
dote on it. I don't yet find a Marathi restaurant that satisfies me. जो मेरे neighbors के घर पे खाया हुआ वो भी taste अभी भी याद है तो. Yeah, I think it's a great culture and they're happy. So God bless.